Transcending decades of musical evolution, Frankie Valli's voice emerged as a beacon of emotional resonance and universal connectivity. His falsetto, both striking and delicate, sang stories that delved into the trials, triumphs, and everyday realities of life. Tracks like Sherry, which mirrored whimsical innocence, and Big Girls Don't Cry, portraying sentimental resilience, became cultural anthems. Meanwhile, tunes like Walk Like a Man didn't just chart the evolution of sound, but also punctuated the experiences of a transformative era. Rooted in emotion and storytelling, his artistry bridged generational gaps, embedding itself in film, television, and collective memory. Through a sophisticated interplay of nostalgic homage and timeless reinvention, his works painted vivid slices of 20th century life, effortlessly remaining a relevant testament to the enduring power of music. It was with unwavering determination and unmatched talent that Frankie Valli reached the pinnacle of musical success, carving out a legacy that continues to inspire generations. His voice, iconic and unmistakable, catapulted him to fame as the lead vocalist of the Four Seasons, a group whose sound defined an era. Yet, behind the glamour and applause was a life woven with profound heartbreak and unimaginable challenges. Frankie Valli's personal journey was as intricate and storied as the music that made him a household name. Amid his rise to superstardom, Frankie embraced his role as a father to 9 children, a responsibility he cherished deeply. However, life's unpredictable twists brought tragedies that would mark him forever. The loss of some of his children at young ages inflicted wounds that defied the healing balm of time. Each loss, a devastating chapter, left an indelible ache in his heart, a weight unparalleled by any professional pressures he may have faced. Despite these tragedies, he pressed forward, showcasing not just a public persona of resilience, but a deeply personal strength that held him steady in the face of immeasurable grief. Even as he strove to unite the family he held so dear, life's unpredictability challenged his resolve. One of his surviving children, perhaps grappling with the complexities of their shared history, eventually became estranged. This estrangement was another blow for Frankie, who carried this sorrow alongside his already heavy burdens. Despite this heartbreak, his ability to continue giving his soul to his music revealed a depth of character that resonated both onstage and off. Each note he sang carried the weight of his personal struggles, allowing fans to connect not just with his art, but with the man behind the microphone. Navigating the demanding world of entertainment while dealing with the raw emotions of loss required not only resilience, but also a profound commitment to balance. Frankie Valli's life reminds us that even those who seem larger than life are no strangers to the heartbreaks that shape the human experience. His ability to endure and persevere offers hope to those facing their own tribulations, standing as a testament to the indomitable nature of the human spirit, regardless of fame or circumstance. His story, while uniquely his own, touches on universal themes of love, loss, and redemption, rendering him not just a musical legend, but also a powerful symbol of perseverance. The Four Seasons were a groundbreaking band that created a unique connection with a wide audience, a feat that set them apart from their contemporaries. During a time when male groups often catered primarily to female fans, the Four Seasons broke this mold by crafting a persona and sound that resonated equally with men and women alike. Their success laid in their ability to tell real, heartfelt stories through their music. These stories carried a remarkable sense of relatability, allowing listeners of diverse backgrounds to see themselves reflected in the lyrics and emotions of the songs. Unlike many boy bands that alienated potential male listeners, the Four Seasons appealed to both genders without compromising their distinct style. This dual audience appeal marked a notable deviation from the norm of their era, ultimately broadening their reach and impact within the competitive music industry. Their authenticity resonated because it was honest and unforced, offering both casual listeners and loyal fans a reason to connect on a personal level. Their storytelling was grounded in everyday realities, touching upon themes and emotions shared by people far and wide. From tales of heartbreak and devotion to the celebration of life's simpler joys, their musical narratives were both timeless and universal. The universality of their lyrics made men feel included in a genre that was once dominated by themes appealing mostly to women. Instead of fragmenting their audience, the Four Seasons fostered a sense of inclusion, becoming a band that felt accessible to everyone. Moreover, the distinct sound of their music played a critical role in their enduring appeal. With Frankie Valli's signature falsetto voice leading the way, The Four Seasons combined rich harmonies, memorable melodies, and vibrant instrumentation that transcended typical age and gender divides. While their tracks were undoubtedly catchy, they never felt superficial or contrived. This balance of substance and style cemented their reputation not only as entertainers but as true artists. Their ability to strike this chord of relatability while maintaining musical and emotional depth contributed significantly to their long-term success. At a time when many bands faded as quickly as they emerged, the Four Seasons maintained a prominent cultural influence through their adaptability and relevance. They did not limit themselves to one demographic, but rather reached across lines that other groups often ignored or underestimated. This inclusiveness made their success feel earned and natural rather than fleeting or manufactured. By bridging gaps that once seemed insurmountable, the Four Seasons became more than just a celebrated band. They represented a cultural shift in how music could speak to the hearts of all listeners, turning personal stories into shared experiences that united rather than divided. Their legacy continues to endure through generations, a testament to their significant and groundbreaking contributions to the world of music. Frankie married Mary Mandel in 1957, marking a significant chapter in his personal life as he embarked on the early stages of his career in music. Mary came into Frankie's life already as the mother of a young daughter named Celia from a previous relationship, and her presence established a sense of stability as Frankie began to rise in the music world. Together, Frankie and Mary built a family, welcoming two daughters, Antonia and Francine, into their lives. Though they sought to maintain a private life, the pressures of Frankie's growing fame soon began to take their toll. As his career accelerated, their home life faced frequent challenges, largely because of the demands of living in the public eye. The tragedy that struck their family in the form of Celia's accidental death added another layer of hardship to their marriage. The young girl's passing, caused by an accident involving a fire escape, left the family grieving deeply. The impact of such heartbreak is immeasurable, and it brought immense emotional strain to both Frankie and Mary during already troubled times. While Mary endeavored to shield their daughters and herself from the glare of Frankie's celebrity status, the balance was difficult to maintain in light of the fame attached to his name. Their story, marked by love, loss, and the tension of public scrutiny, resonated with many when it was partially portrayed in the well-known biopic musical Jersey Boys. The film captured fragments of their relationship, offering audiences a glimpse into the complexities of Frankie's personal journey and his marriage to Mary. It highlighted not only the era in which they lived, but also the sacrifices made behind the scenes. Despite their shared history and the life they built together, the marriage faced challenges that were hard to overcome in the face of external pressures. The loss of Celia and Francine marked an unimaginably painful chapter in Frankie Valli's life. Celia, the daughter of Mary Mandel from her previous relationship, tragically passed away in a horrifying accident. She fell from a fire escape, an event so sudden and catastrophic that it left those close to her in shock and agony. This devastating loss was then followed by another heartbreaking tragedy just 6 months later, when Francine, Frankie's daughter, died from an accidental drug overdose at the fragile age of 20. The cumulative grief from these back-to-back losses was overwhelming, casting a long shadow over every aspect of Frankie's existence. These events also placed an unbearable strain on Frankie's marriage to Mary Mandel. The weight of such profound sorrow, combined with the emotional turbulence that came with it, caused irreparable damage to their relationship. By 1971, the marriage reached its breaking point, culminating in divorce. Although their marital union ended, the searing pain of losing two young lives lingered deeply in Frankie's heart. It was a burden he carried heavily, and it shaped his perspective on life and love in ways that words fail to encapsulate. The deaths of Celia and Francine did not merely haunt Frankie personally. Their memory influenced his work as a musician. His songs, often imbued with a mixture of heartache and longing, carried the weight of his personal tragedies. They became a poignant reminder of the losses that had changed him irrevocably. Every lyric and melody seemed to echo a life irrevocably altered by sorrow. The pain of losing children is a sorrow that defies comprehension, but for Frankie Valli, this burden became a significant part of his story, forever etched into who he was as a person and as an artist. The passage of time could not dull the memories of Celia's accident or Francine's overdose. Instead, they remained an intrinsic part of Frankie's journey, shaping his legacy as much as his music. It was in 1974 when Frankie's union with Mary Ann Hannigan marked the beginning of an important chapter in his life. Their story began 4 years earlier, during a time when Frankie found himself grappling with personal challenges. Marianne stepped into his world as a steady source of comfort and understanding. Her patience and unwavering support became a lifeline for Frankie as he tried to heal from the lingering shadows of past heartaches. Though their connection was meaningful, Frankie openly acknowledged how the weight of his previous relationships made it difficult to fully open his heart. Marianne, however, never wavered in her role as a compassionate partner, helping him face those inner struggles while building a life together. During the years they spent as husband and wife, they shared moments of joy, resilience, and personal growth. Marianne's presence brought solace to Frankie, allowing him to find a sense of balance during a period of uncertainty. They explored the complexities of their bond, working to nurture their partnership in the face of both external pressures and internal challenges. Despite their best efforts, the couple reached a mutual understanding about the limitations of their relationship. After 8 years of marriage, they made the difficult decision to part ways in 1982. Their divorce was amicable, rooted in mutual respect, and an acknowledgement that their paths were better traveled separately. What remained after their time together was an enduring sense of gratitude. Marianne had been instrumental in helping Frankie navigate a particularly difficult stretch of his life. Although their marriage did not last, the impact of their connection resonated deeply for both of them as they moved forward. By facing the complexities of their partnership with honesty and grace, they demonstrated how even short-lived relationships can leave a meaningful mark. Frankie's third marriage to Randy Cloy in 1984 marked a significant chapter in her life, characterized by both joy and conflict. Together, they welcomed 3 sons, Frankie Jr. and twins Emilio and Brando. Their family life was filled with moments of happiness, but it was also fraught with challenges that tested their relationship. After nearly 2 decades of marriage, the couple faced a contentious divorce in 2004. The split was particularly bitter, centering around a dispute over a life insurance policy that Randy claimed as community property. The legal battle was intense, but ultimately, the courts ruled in Frankie's favor. Despite this victory, the divorce left behind lingering tensions that affected their family dynamics. In 2014, tragedy struck when Randy passed away from leukemia, a loss that deeply impacted their sons. They inherited Frankie's Malibu home, a place filled with memories. However, this home was later destroyed in the devastating Woolsey fire of 2018, adding another layer of sorrow to their family's history. Although Frankie had experienced love and loss in his life, his journey brought him to Jackie Jacobs, a woman who would reignite his faith in love. Their story began in 2007 when their paths first crossed. However, at that time, their connection remained that of acquaintances, as life had other plans for both of them. Years went by before their friendship deepened, and in 2015, they finally began dating. By then, Frankie had experienced the complexities of relationships, and carried with him the cautious hesitations that often accompany a heart that has loved before. Jackie became a source of stability and encouragement, offering him unwavering support even in moments when he questioned his ability to commit again. Over time, their bond grew stronger, founded on mutual respect, warmth, and understanding. Jackie's presence in Frankie's life reminded him of the profound joy that an authentic partnership can bring. Her compassion helped him see that love was not a risk to shy away from, but a gift worth cherishing. It wasn't just a romantic connection, it was a partnership built on shared values and a mutual commitment to making each other's lives brighter. After years of courtship, Frankie made the life-changing decision to embrace this love fully. Though marriage had once seemed like a daunting step, his relationship with Jackie transformed his perspective. In 2023, Frankie and Jackie celebrated their love in a ceremony that friends and fans alike viewed as a triumph of hope and resilience. Their marriage became a powerful reminder that love, in its purest form, can be discovered at any stage of life, offering joy and solace in equal measure. As their story unfolded, it struck a chord with many, particularly with those who had faced challenges in their own romantic lives. Frankie and Jackie showcased what it means to find a connection later in life, a partnership where mutual growth, trust, and happiness take center stage. Their relationship illustrated that, while time may pass, the possibility of finding someone who truly understands and uplifts you remains ever present. Together, Frankie and Jackie demonstrated that love transcends age, past heartbreaks, and uncertainties, proving that it's never too late to welcome happiness into one's life. Frankie's devotion to his children is unwavering, despite the many challenges he has faced as a father. He has always prioritized their well-being, even while juggling the demands of his music career. The deaths of Celia and Francine left a lasting impact on him, shaping his perspective on life and family. These losses deepened his understanding of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment with his children. Frankie's relationships with his surviving children have had their ups and downs, but his love for them remains a cornerstone of his identity. He has often expressed his pride in their accomplishments, celebrating their unique paths and talents. Whether it is attending their events or simply being there to listen, he makes it a point to show his support. His commitment to being a present and loving father is evident in the way he speaks about them, always highlighting their strengths and encouraging them to pursue their dreams. This unwavering love serves as a guiding light in his life, reminding him of what truly matters. Francine's death in 1980 hit Frankie with unimaginable grief, amplifying the anguish of having lost his sister Celia just 6 months earlier. As someone who had inherited her father's musical talent, Francine was not only a promising young woman, but also someone on the brink of achieving her dreams. Her voice carried the echoes of her father's artistry, and at only 20 years old, she was standing at the threshold of a career that many believed would shine brightly. However, tragedy struck when Francine died of an accidental drug overdose, cutting short a life filled with potential and aspirations. For Frankie, the loss was unbearable. His sorrow ran deep, pushing him into a temporary spiral of substance abuse as he tried to navigate the chasm left in his life. During this dark period, he struggled to cope with the immense weight of his grief and the unanswered questions of what might have been. Later on, Francine's devastating story became a poignant part of the musical Jersey Boys. The account of her tragic death brought a raw emotional depth to the performance, leaving audiences moved to tears as they witnessed Frankie's heartbreak unfold on stage. Her memory, though tied to sadness, served as a reminder of the impermanence of life and the fragility of dreams interrupted too soon. Even years after the tragedy, Frankie continued to reflect on the life Francine could have lived. Her talent, her dreams, and her possibilities remained vivid in his thoughts, a bittersweet tribute to the sister whose life ended far too early. To this day, the thought of Francine lingers for Frankie, coloring his memories with both sorrow and love, as he often wonders how her potential might have transformed into reality had fate been kinder. Antonia Valli's life underwent a significant transformation when she chose to marry Jerry Pichai, the talented drummer for the renowned band, the Four Seasons. Her decision to marry a musician initially sparked disapproval from her father, Frankie Valli, whose protective instincts and public persona made the bond between father and daughter both nurturing and, at times, challenging. Frankie's hesitation about this union stemmed from his own experiences in the music world, where relationships often face unique obstacles. Despite this initial resistance, Antonia and Jerry built a life filled with love, creativity, and family. Together, they welcomed 2 children into their lives, Olivia and Dario, who brought them immense happiness and became central to their legacy. Olivia, inspired by the remarkable footsteps of her grandfather, pursued a path in performing arts. Her talent shone as brightly as Frankie's had in his early days, and she carried the Valli family name onto the stage with pride and determination. Her role in the musical Jersey Boys, which celebrated the music and story of the Four Seasons, became a testament to her dedication and inherited artistry. The connection to her grandfather's iconic career gave Olivia a unique platform to share her voice and create a meaningful link between generations. Frankie, who initially struggled to embrace aspects of Antonia's choices, eventually came to admire Olivia's achievements with deep pride. Watching his granddaughter succeed in a realm that mirrored his own life's work allowed him to reconcile his concerns and celebrate the continuity of creativity in his family. The dynamic within the Valli family exemplifies the intricate balance between personal choices and the bonds that tie a family together. Antonia's relationship with Jerry forged a new narrative for the Valli name, one that intertwined music, family, and loyalty. Frankie's journey from opposition to heartfelt support highlights the complexities of parenthood, especially as seen through the lens of fame and legacy. As someone who lived much of his life in the public eye, Frankie's eventual acceptance of Antonia's marriage and his unreserved joy in Olivia's talents illustrate the ongoing evolution of love, understanding, and pride within their family. Jerry's presence as a musician in the Four Seasons added a layer of familiarity and collaboration with Frankie's world, giving the family an enduring connection to the crafted melodies and shared performances that had shaped their lives. Although Emilio and Brando were born to pursue unique paths in life, They inherited a shared passion for the arts from their father, Frankie, who instilled creativity and curiosity in their hearts. Born in 1995, the twins grew up surrounded by expression and music, often accompanying Frankie on tour during their childhood. These early experiences exposed them to a rich tapestry of cultures and people, shaping their social skills and giving them a broadened perspective of the world. The countless hours spent on the road, backstage, and in the midst of a buzzing artistic environment allowed them to form a deep bond not only with their father, but with each other. Brando, drawn to the rhythms and melodies of life, decided to pursue a career in music where he could pour his emotions and creativity into his work. His singles, Imagine and Numb With You, reflect an artist finding his voice, blending raw feelings with harmonies that resonate deeply. These songs not only mirror his personal journey, but also connect with audiences who find solace in their messages. As he continues to grow, Brando sees music as a platform for storytelling and self-expression, a way to leave his mark while reaching out to others. Meanwhile, Emilio gravitated toward the visual side of storytelling. Starting with filmmaking, he explored ways to bring narratives to life on screen, learning the craft and pushing boundaries. However, life had other plans, and Emilio transitioned into a career in real estate, showcasing his ability to adapt and find his strengths in new ventures. Although his path diverged from filmmaking, Emilio's creativity never waned, and his artistic sensibilities play a role in the way he approaches his career now, blending the worlds of vision and practicality. Their connection as siblings remains unshaken, reinforced by the experiences that shaped their upbringing. One notable moment came during Frankie's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. Standing alongside their father during this significant milestone, Emilio and Brando shared a moment filled with emotion, pride, and gratitude. That instant symbolized the tight-knit bond they share as a family, reflecting the support and love they continually offer each other. The turbulent dynamics within Frankie Jr.'s family became a recurring thread in his life. Born into a household already grappling with its share of tensions, his early years seemed marked by the trials of his parents, Frankie and Randy. Their divorce was not just a split between two individuals, but a dramatic rift that reverberated throughout their family. Frankie Jr., caught in the eye of this emotional storm, often found himself burdened by the pressures and uncertainties that erupted from their contentious separation. As a young man, Frankie Jr. discovered a spark of talent within himself, showing early promise as an actor. He embraced the spotlight, earning roles in beloved shows like Full House, where his performances hinted at a bright future. Hollywood later opened its doors to him through films such as The House Bunny, which allowed him to stand on a stage that many only dream of. Yet, the fame he sought came accompanied by shadows that soon loomed large over his life. Opioid addiction crept insidiously into Frankie Jr.'s world, changing his trajectory in ways neither he nor his family could have anticipated. What began as a battle with dependency soon evolved into a force that deeply affected his relationships. The weight of his struggle began to pull at the bonds with his loved ones, stretching and straining even the strongest connections he held dear. Frankie Jr.'s story carved a powerful example of how deep the ties between personal challenges and family struggles can run. The fame that brought him recognition often hid its true cost. Behind the cameras and acclaim, Frankie Jr. carried scars from conflicts he did not choose, and worked to overcome challenges that often weighed heavier because of his public life. His experience offers an unvarnished look at the interplay of fame, familial discord, and personal struggles, serving also as a sobering reflection on the burdens carried by those born or drawn into the public eye. It started with an inheritance dispute that tore the Valli family apart. Emilio and Brando, brothers caught in an intense legal battle with their sibling Francesco, aimed to resolve issues surrounding the Malibu home of their late mother. What should have been a straightforward matter of property division unraveled into a firestorm of accusations. Allegations emerged of threats and violence, claims of property vandalism, and murmurings of mishandled financial dealings. These disputes drove an even deeper wedge between the brothers, who had once stood united. The courtroom became a battleground where harsh accusations echoed, and familial love seemed a distant memory. The restraining order issued against Francesco stood as a chilling symbol of the situation's gravity. Rather than acting as a safeguard, the restraining order highlighted just how strained and fractured the relationships had become. For Emilio and Brando, the order wasn't merely about legal protection. It was a desperate attempt to shield themselves from what they perceived as unpredictable and erratic behavior. What triggered such a fiery confrontation? the details remained tangled in hurt feelings and mistrust. It seemed that small disagreements had snowballed, creating an insurmountable divide. The disputes shattered the veneer of family solidarity. At the heart of the issue was the Malibu house, a property that should have served as a cherished reminder of their mother's legacy. Instead, it became a battleground filled with endless arguments and legal maneuvering. Financial concerns further fueled the flames. Emilio and Brando voiced concerns over Francesco's handling of monies tied to the property. Whispers of corruption and poor decision-making filled family gatherings, leaving little room for reconciliation. Yet the home was only the vessel for much deeper wounds, exposing long-held resentments and frustrations among siblings who no longer trusted one another. Emotions ran high during the litigation. Rumors of property damage surfaced, alleging there had been deliberate attempts to lower the home's value. One sibling accused another of purposefully sabotaging the house for leverage in court. Threats, veiled or otherwise, further escalated tensions, with some family members fearing the next confrontation might spiral beyond the law's reach. Even small disputes swelled into monumental challenges as the family splintered more with each passing month. Conversations that had once begun with laughter turned into terse exchanges or complete silences. It became clear that the scars left by the legal battle would remain long after the dust had settled. The strife extended far beyond the courtroom and seeped into their personal lives. Holidays once filled with shared meals and warm moments now passed in isolation, with members wary of rekindling old frustrations. Friends of the family found themselves torn, unsure of which brother's version of events to believe. Slowly, the Valli brothers became known more for their disputes than for their familial ties. Francesco's alleged erratic behavior, highlighted as central in legal arguments, grew into a talking point that overshadowed the very roots of the disagreement. Meanwhile, Emilio and Brando appeared equally burdened by the emotional toll of the trial. At no point did there seem to be an end in sight. The family ties, though once strong, felt frayed and irreparable. With unresolved trust issues and painful memories, the effects of the case lingered indefinitely. Francesco's struggles with opioid addiction deeply affected his family, creating a painful situation for Frankie. Despite Frankie's efforts to support his son and encourage him to seek help, Francesco responded with hostility and threats, making the situation even more challenging. His erratic behavior escalated, leading him to attempt selling Frankie's property and causing chaos in the lives of his siblings. This turmoil left the family feeling helpless and concerned for their safety. As Francesco's actions became increasingly disruptive, the family realized they had no choice but to take legal action to protect themselves. Obtaining a restraining order against Francesco was a difficult decision, but it was necessary to ensure the safety and well-being of everyone involved. The emotional toll of these events weighed heavily on Frankie, who only wanted to see his son recover and rebuild their relationship. The family faced a heartbreaking reality as they navigated the complexities of addiction and its impact on their lives. From his earliest days, Frankie recalls the lessons that shaped him, lessons rooted in simplicity and resilience. Growing up with limited means, he learned to appreciate the small joys of life and developed an unwavering determination to rise above challenges. These formative years instilled values of hard work, dedication, and humility, which he carried into his pursuits. As he stepped into the limelight, the journey to international stardom was anything but smooth. Yet, every obstacle only deepened his gratitude for the opportunities that came his way. He frequently marvels at the path his life has taken, transforming dreams into reality while enduring the trials that fame often brings. Frankie attributes much of his success to the steadfast support of his fans. Through moments of triumph and adversity, they have been a constant presence, encouraging him to press forward and embrace the highs and lows of his career. Their loyalty inspires him even during personal struggles, which include navigating family conflicts and confronting tragedies that have touched his life. These experiences, though painful, have been instrumental in shaping his perspective. He finds solace in acknowledging imperfection, recognizing that even moments of sorrow have contributed to his growth and understanding. In reflecting on his journey, Frankie remains deeply appreciative of the life he has as a lieutenant. He values the strength it has taken to overcome each challenge and the persistence that fueled his aspirations. Whether standing before adoring crowds or in solitude, he is mindful of the legacy he continues to craft, one rooted in authenticity and gratitude. The road has not been easy, but his ability to persevere has become a defining feature of his story, painting a picture of a man who cherishes where he is today. while honoring where he came from. Family relationships often bear marks of complexity and trial, especially when influenced by fame, interpersonal issues, or personal struggles. In the case of Frankie Valli, the celebrated voice of the Four Seasons, such trials came to the forefront as his public life intertwined with private challenges. This juxtaposition became particularly poignant when legal measures were invoked to resolve familial tensions. Frankie was granted a 3-year restraining order against his eldest son, Francesco Valli, a decision that followed a series of troubling events that reportedly included threats of harm and acts that left the singer in fear for his safety. This decision was not made lightly, as the legal proceedings involved testimonies of repeated threats, which prompted the involvement not only of Frankie, but also his younger son Emilio Valli. Francesco Valli struggles with personal challenges, including allegations linked to substance abuse, were cited as underlying factors leading to the growing discord. Court documents highlighted threats made by Francesco that extended to both familial and property-related concerns, compelling the need for separation. The restraining order required Francesco to remain at least 100 yards away from both his father and Emilio, and prohibited any form of contact between the parties involved. The tension in this scenario further unfolded, as Emilio himself obtained a temporary restraining order against Francesco before it was made permanent, underscoring the gravity of the situation. This legal measure coincided with a celebratory moment in Frankie Valli's career, as he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. While this recognition marked his indelible contributions to music and culture, it was shadowed by the absence of his eldest son during the ceremony, reflecting the duality of a legacy celebrated publicly and struggles borne privately. This family struggle has become an emblematic case of the vulnerability that exists even within the most illustrious lives, making it a poignant narrative of striving for safety and harmony amidst life's challenges.